Obviously, defense is struggling. Can Brady overcome what appears to be a way below average defense?
It's not just a bad defense that's Tom's problem. And finally, the broadcast team and people are talking about, he's getting hit too much. And I know they scored 30 points, but he's getting hit too often, and eventually that's going to catch up with him too. Yes, they have a horrible defense. That's going to be a problem. But come November, he keeps taking hits like this offense is going to fall apart too, and we're going to sit around, and the Buffalo Bills are going to win this division. There's a problem in New England that I don't think can be fixed this year. They can't play defense, and they can't protect Tom Brady the way he's used to.
I think we're being crazy. In any other sport, it would be ludicrous to take a dynasty and say a quarter through the season, or if you count playoffs, a fifth through the season, you can define them. Belichick is a defensive coach. They've got additions all over these rosters because they went out and got veteran players because they know Tom Brady's got a year or two left. They brought in a whole bunch of new players, and their communication's awful. This isn't like breakdowns in man-to-man coverage. This is New England not being in the right spot on the field because Gilmore, who they yanked yesterday, can't figure out where to be. This isn't bad players. This is, we brought a bunch of new guys in, and they don't know our system, and our communication's awful right now.
Let me ask you this. The same argument, you flipped it over. The Rams brought a bunch of new guys in on the offense. Offense is harder to understand than defense. They've got a boatload of new guys, and they're clicking on all cylinders. So at some point, maybe you don't have the right players. Maybe you didn't bring the right players in because at some point, they've always been able to fix that in New England. They've always been able to put their players in positions to win. And right now, they are struggling, man. There were more wide-open coverage busts yesterday in that game that just leave your head. I mean, they're head-scratching coverage busts. And I'll give it to Cam Newton, man. He was slinging it yesterday. He had a couple throws early in that game down the middle of the football field where I'm like, man, that looked good from the pocket. But, you know, you couple that by saying, or you curb that by saying, there was nobody within 8 yards of any of those guys, but they were great throws. But, again, it's wide-open receivers, wide-open targets.
Trust on the defense.
Well, here's the deal. Every time I went against the New England Patriots, it was the most frustrating team to go against because you had to earn everything. There was no tricking them. And a lot of offense is trying to get them out of position so you can trick them into getting open. That doesn't work with the New England Patriots, usually. This team this year, it's going on. Guys are coming wide open. They pride themselves in Matt Patricia's defense, and Bill Belichick is probably the best defensive coach ever. And because everywhere you go, it's always somebody there. And it doesn't matter with the zone, with the man-to-man, you have to fight and scratch and claw for everything. And that's what's going on with this team. And the players. Rob Ninkovich is gone. Hightower's been hurt. You got to have talent.
No pass rush.
Doesn't matter. No pass rush.
Think about this, Jason. Old quarterback beat him Breeze. Young quarterback beat him Watson. A guy that doesn't throw deep, Alex Smith, did. And Cam Newton, who's not accurate, was the most accurate he's been in his career. Like, it's not like one style. Old, young, inaccurate. Alex Smith doesn't throw deep. He threw deep against them. Everything's beating them.
I hear both of their conversations, and I hear a lack of trust. Bill Belichick's defenses are built on do your job. And you have to trust your other teammate to do his job because it all works in concert. I'm wondering, and I follow Mike Lombardi, who's very close to the Patriots organization, and when I hear people talk about the Patriots defense, I'm wondering if if Bill Belichick's communication style is working with this particular group of kids and young people that he's assembled, because I hear a lack of trust. I hear people, when I hear people out of position, I hear people trying to do too much. When you start thinking, oh, this guy's not going to be here, so I better be here, that's when you have all these wide-open, busted coverages and people not in their gaps. This is a mess, and then I'm telling you, you flip it to the other side, and that 40-year-old quarterback getting sacked 3 more times yesterday, taking all those deliveries, and you can start to see it. Not that he played poorly, but Tom Brady normally never concerns himself with the pass rush. I saw him start bringing his eyes down a little bit.
Do you know why? They're missing the keyest of the key players in that offense. Julian Edelman is not there. He is that guy that could get that quick release. He's that guy that runs that option route, probably the best option route runner, 5 to 6 yards. Who did they have before that? Wes Welker. That's a big cog in Tom Brady's mad scientist regime. You got to have that guy that can get that ball to your hands. Who can run it? Hogan? He's not like Julian Edelman.
Now, it should be noted that September has generally been New England's worst month, right?
Yes.
That is the experiment month for them. I'm not saying the loss isn't a loss. Close loss to an improved team, September's their bad month.
And I will say this back to your point earlier. They are usually the smartest team in football.
Yes.
They give you things, and first off, they give you things that you've never seen. And to be able to do that on a week-to-week basis, you have to be in concert with one another. They are not in that concert is a little kid strumming on a xylophone with a, just hammering that thing. That's what it sounds like right now.
Yeah.